Kai, are you asking for any quarterback snaps going forward? I mean, 1,000 career completion percentage and all.
I'd love to get some if the opportunity came. I'm have to go talk to Coach Sapp first, though, for sure.
Kai, who starts the Heisman campaign for you? Do you start that internally, or does that have to come from a?
I probably could start an internal Heisman campaign, but I think I'm going to need the help from the fans and all of you guys to help me get there.
And I guess how nice has it been to have this special teams unit kind of been making plays and putting the offense and defense in positions to have some success for you guys?
I think it's been game-changing, honestly. We've definitely – you've noticed it watching us when we're able to set up either, whether it's pinning them back or we're able to convert on a fourth down fake, get our offense back on the field, and we end up scoring a touchdown. It's a big play for us, big momentum swing for sure. Definitely takes the air out of the opponent. Any kind of, excitement they might have had they're going to get the ball back just, deflates them and gives us the ball.
Kai, how much do you actually practice throwing the football? Is that 2-3 throws a day? Is it
it's every day I definitely throw. I always, when I do my punting warm-up and stretch, then me and Hunter will get together and throw. We start close and end up just backing up and just letting them rip. Probably about 10 minutes or so. So probably 30 throws a day, I'd say, 30 to 40.
Can I go into Tonka on that fake field goal? Did you guys practice that connection at all? Obviously, neither of you are offensive players, so what was that dynamic like on the field? Yeah,
we practiced it during the week, and it worked every time we practiced it, whether it was just me, the snapper, and Tonka, or we had the whole team together running it. It worked, and he was wide open. He didn't get as open as it worked in practice, but he made a heck of a play. He was getting held and everything, and hopefully I was glad I just gave him a chance, and he made a heck of a catch and run.
And Kai Tonka said that maybe he had a little trouble getting off of his block at first. So did you see that? Did you put a little more air under the ball intentionally?
Yeah, so when I got up and turned, I saw the guy just kind of all over him behind him, and so I thought, well, okay, might as well just give him a little touch pass, hopefully that gives him a better chance. And so I tried to do that as best as I could, and it worked out perfectly.
Does breakfast taste a little sweeter this week now that y'all got the bowl eligibility locked up from that win?
Definitely tastes sweeter. We're definitely happy to be where we are. But like Coach Beamer always says, job's not done. We're happy to be. At least we've reached last year's win total with still more opportunities to go. So we're definitely striving to win out and do the best we can and make a great bowl game.
Kai, not every place you go to is going to be as loud as probably the Swamp is this weekend. How do you mentally prepare yourself when you're in that kind of a hostile environment, in a situation where you have to get a kickoff?
Yeah, it definitely makes a difference. I'd say more so on field goals for sure. On punts, people don't normally yell or cheer unless we're backed up. But I kind of have a little mental preparation I do, just kind of zoning in, focusing on just the snap. And luckily we've been able to play in some places that are pretty loud, like Georgia, Texas A&M, places like that. And obviously home games are ridiculous. So I've definitely gotten a little bit used to it, but obviously it's going to come down to just communication and trusting myself and the others.
When you look at just how the season's gone for you individually, how satisfied are you with just your numbers and what you've been able to produce?
I feel good about where I'm at. I think I guess up until the bye week, there were some highs and some lows. But I think after the bye week, I've kind of mentally reset. I've done a lot of preparation, both physically and mentally, since the bye week, and I think it showed on the field. So I'm definitely happy about post-bye week. There's obviously stuff to work on, definitely limiting the touchbacks, even if it's a long punt or so. If it goes in the end zone, that's not a good thing. So just kind of being a little more precise. But overall, I'm happy where it's gone so far.
So how do you mentally and physically prepare other than just punting footballs?
A lot of it is just kind of like imagination, whether it's right before I go to bed, just imagining the next day or the punts I'm going to have, or pregame, just kind of imagining, I'm going to be in this situation, and then I hit a punt, and it's like, okay, I did this, now I know what to do in the game. Anything I can do to just kind of prepare myself so when I'm in that situation, it's not like I've never been there before.
Hey, Kai, are you familiar with the schedule term Orange Crush?
I'm not. No.
It's what fans and even your own school calls this stretch of Tennessee, Florida, Clemson. Okay. What are your thoughts on that? And do you guys look at that as an opportunity to kind of distinguish yourselves?
That's a unique name for sure. I've never heard of that. But obviously, you're playing 3 great teams back to back to back. If anything, it's just a great opportunity for us to display what we know we can do. So if anything, we're more excited than ever. We believe in each other more than ever. And we look at it as like we know we can do it, but now it's just getting out and executing, which I believe we can do.
With the passing of Ray Guy last week, I was wondering, did you have a chance to see any of the memorials or read anything about him? And what is your perception of his career and just how he changed the way people look at punters as a valuable part of a team?
Yeah, definitely. My condolences to the family and friends. Obviously, he's, I guess the game changer punter. He's kind of what started this whole, punters are people too kind of thing. Obviously, the only punter in the Hall of Fame. So hearing that was definitely heartbreaking, I think, for every specialist and everybody just in general. So now it's kind of like, it's trying to do your best to try to have the same success that he had and have the impact that he had on the community for sure.
I know off your fake field goal, but you also had 5 punts. You averaged over 50 yards Saturday. How much confidence do you have kind of in your gunners, especially? We've talked about Darius Rush in here, and how much do they help you when you're trying to hit a big one?
I think knowing that I have those guys on the outside, they're few of the fastest people on the team. So I know that, okay, I might hit a long punt that might not be as high, but I know that they're going to get down there. And as we saw, they were right there on the 2 that rolled in. So I know that they're going to get down there every time, and so I'm not worried about. Obviously I want to hit those high hang time punts, but I more so trust the people I have around me, which then I'm able to go out and have confidence in myself to hit a good punt.
Hey, Kai, I heard that Tom Petty bumping in the locker room. Do you listen to Tom Petty a lot, and do you have a favorite song?
I actually don't listen to Tom Petty. Trying not to this week, especially.
Kai, I guess you kind of touched on it, but I think your yards per punt average is up, I think 3-4 yards, give or take, this year. I guess, is there anything you accredit that to? Is it just a matter of off-season improvement? I guess, what have you kind of seen in terms of being able to maybe get a couple extra yards on your kicks?
I think it's definitely been more so. A lot of it is I've added a few pounds, even though it might be hard to tell. So I feel more confident in my, body right now. Obviously, I'm still trying to put on weight, but that's given me the confidence to not just kind of feel like a string being out there, not feeling powerful or something like that. So now I'm confident every time I go out there. I see the snap, catch it, and now it's kind of gotten to a point, especially these last few games, where I'm not really thinking about anything. I just go out there and hit it, and then it's just whatever happens, happens, which I think has helped me a lot, because there might be some times before where I'm thinking if I'm backed up, I need to hit a good punt here, and then it doesn't go to plan or something like that. So it's definitely been more of a mental process, but I'm happy where I'm at right now.
Hey, Kai. Back in Ray Guy's era, they used to do the coffin corner punt, where they try to directionally punt it out of bounds inside the 5. Most punters nowadays try to get it to check up inside the 5, more in the middle of the field. Is one harder than the other? Is one technique harder than the other?
I'd say hitting them out of bounds inside the 5 or at the 5 is probably harder, just because then not only does your distance have to be good, but your aim has to be good to get it out of bounds. We've had a few so far that have gone out of bounds, and also a few that have kind of been in the middle of the field and checked up. But definitely, it's probably the safer play to try to hit it out of bounds, just because then you don't risk the bounce. Because you can try to hit the backspin punts, and then it could land and roll in. It's really, you can control it as much as you can, but at the same time, once it's in the air, you don't really know how it's going to bounce for sure. So I'd like to aim it as close as I can to the sideline, and then try to hit that backspin just as precautionary.
Kai, what went into you being on the hands team for onside kick?
Like Coach Lembo said, I probably catch the most balls in the building. I like to take pride in that. And so I felt confident going out there if the ball were to come to me. And, I knew pretty much as soon as we got out there, they had the 2 kickers out there, and I knew the main kicker was coming our way. I think it was just probably a little bit I misjudged it, and I could have came up and been more aggressive. I still got to get those, the fear of getting hit out maybe a little bit. Not high school. These guys are much bigger. But yeah, I could have played more aggressive, but I think the fact that I've been able to catch so many balls in practice, it's definitely contributed to me being on the hands team.
And you're on offense, or you've thrown passes, you're on punt, you're on hands team, you're on field goal. Have you talked to Coach White about playing some defense as well, just to hit the trifecta there?
I think I'd like to stay away from hitting people for now, maybe. Maybe in the future, though.
Kai, were you on hands team at Lake Forest, or?
I was, yeah.
And I guess, is that something you've done for a while? How did it kind of come about here, I guess?
I guess, yeah, so I've done it, obviously I did in high school, and then it kind of came up, I'd say within the last year or so, just because with the amount of balls I've been catching, and then Coach Lembo kind of seeing how I've been able to handle some different types of snaps. So then he kind of puts me in and sees how I do in practice, and then, you know, if I catch it, great. And I've caught a few in practice in the team reps, which has given me some confidence, and the guys obviously like to see us catching it out there. So just kind of, he has confidence in us, whoever's out there. There's a few of us, and yeah, I believe in myself too. Good. Thank you guys, appreciate it.